All right, today's focus on 123D design is on two things. First, understanding our sketch tab up here, and two, truly understanding what it means to be three-dimensional and what our dimensions actually are. So to start, underneath sketch, I'm going to go over to the polyline tool. This is just a fancy way of saying drawing a line. When I select it, it's now asking, where do I want to draw this line? And I want to draw it right on our grid. So I'm going to click on the grid. Then it asks, where do you want to start it? I'm going to start it right here at random. Then I can stretch the line by moving the mouse in any direction I want, any distance I want. And I'm going to lock it in just by clicking over there. It's going to ask me if I want to keep making more and more and more and more lines, and I can, but today, not so much. I'm going to press escape on the keyboard, so I simply just have the one line. While looking at this, this is an object that is one-dimensional. It can be measured just in one direction. Oftentimes, when I think of the dimensions, I think of how many directions can it be measured. And right here, this is from left to right. This is going to be our width. Next up, I'm going to go to the second dimension. So underneath the sketch tab, I'm going to grab rectangle. Again, I'm going to click on our grid. And now it's asking, where do you want the first corner? I'm going to click over here. Very important to note, I'm not holding down the button on the mouse. Rather, I'm just freely moving the mouse. So I'm going to make a rectangle and just select it in right there. Once I have the rectangle I like, I'm going to press enter, and now it's locked in. Let's quickly go over this. This line was one-dimensional. It has width. We can measure it in one direction. This rectangle is different. I can measure it left to right here, our width. But now I have this distance going from front to back. This is going to be our depth. So now we have width and depth. Two dimensions, two directions. One direction, one dimension. Okay, next up, I'm going to draw another quick rectangle. And we'll skip forward real quick. And now, to make this three-dimensional, what I want to do is I want to give this height. I want this thing to pop up, make it almost into a full box. Our next tab, real quick, is construct. The first option is extrude. When I click on here, it's asking me, what do I want to extrude? And I can select any of my previous two-dimensional objects. I'm going to click on the middle of this rectangle, and a little white arrow is going to pop up. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to drag it up. Now, we went from a one-dimensional sketch to a two-dimensional sketch, and now we've offered it height. This height is our third dimension, making this box three-dimensional.